Well, good afternoon to everyone. It's wonderful to be here on the Sabbath day. Once again, even though it's January and very cold, we're here safely. Well, brethren, if any of us here at any time would ask people we know, for example, within our family, within our neighborhood, even within the church, we were to ask them this question, what would you think the answer would be? And here it is here. If you had the opportunity to choose between blessings or cursings, what would you choose? Now, that's an interesting question to ask anyone, even within your own family. Do you want blessings or cursings in this life? I'm 99% sure that you would get the one that says, I'd rather have blessings. I'm sure they would. You may get a response from some people. I mean, be ready for it if they say to you, well, gee, I don't know. I mean, somebody along the line somewhere may very well say that. Well, anyway, brethren, to have blessings such as good health, a long life on this earth, prosperity, happiness, joy in doing the things you like to do. Okay? And there's one here, brethren, that I think a lot of people in our nation lack, and it's peace of mind and heart. That seems to be something that not a whole lot of people enjoy or have these days. Now, the next question I have here, how do we come by these blessings? What do we do? Who does it come from? Who gives us these blessings and why? Well, brethren, the Bible has the answers. They're there. They've been there for several thousand years as to how to live right, to have these mighty, wonderful blessings of prosperity, good health, a long life on this earth. So let's read here, if you'll turn to Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy chapter 30. Now, I'm going back in time to the ancient Israelite people. They were brought out of Egypt, out of slavery, and some terrible things going on there against them. And they were given the rules of right living to bring prosperity, happiness, and a long life on this earth. Deuteronomy 30. I'm going to read to you verses 15, 16, and 17. And what is said here, brethren, applies to us today. It's not that you may think, well, that's an old statement. Yeah, well, sure. But it was given to God's people, the ancient Israelite people, and it was to be held true forever. Forever. And that includes us today here in the United States. I'm going to read to you verse 15. See, I have set before you this day life and good, death and evil. In that I command you this day to love the eternal your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that you mayest live and multiply, and the Lord God shall bless you in the land where you are going to go and possess. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, then I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, and that you shall prolong your days upon the land on which you have, whither thou passest over Jordan, and to go and to possess it. So he gives them, brethren, a choice here to keep the commandments, the statutes, and the laws, and everything attached to them, and that way they will have prosperity. He will protect them, and I know that our Father in heaven gave ancient Israel a choice. I'll do your fighting for you. So you're not going to have armies come against you. I'll do the fighting for you. Keep my commandments and do what it says and keep the statutes. But, of course, they turned away from him. Over time, that is. Okay. Now, with that commandments, the commandments themselves, brethren, I'm going to go through them briefly here. Okay, I think it's important that we be reminded of them and the effects that they have on people from generation to generation. And here they are. The first of the commandments. You shall worship the Lord your God, and only him shall you serve. The attaining verse there is Matthew 4:10, if you want to go into the New Testament. Little children, in number 2 commandment, keep yourselves from idols. Therefore, since we are the offspring of our Creator God, we ought to think that the divine nature is like gold and silver or stone or something shaped by an art of man's devising. We should not think that they are. In other words, there was a big problem back then of idolatry. People worshiped things that were made. They carved shapes and sizes and different very strange things out of rocks and gold and silver, and they worshiped them. And this is what our Father in heaven condemned them for. He said, don't do that. You want further information? Go to 1 John 5:21. Go to Acts 17:29. The third commandment. Do not blaspheme or take the name of our Creator God in vain. An attaining scripture on that is 1 Timothy 6:1. Don't use his name profanely, loosely. Honor our Father in heaven and honor his name. Fourth commandment. Number 4. Is keep holy the Sabbath. Now, the Sabbath day, brethren, was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The Son of Man is also the Lord of the Sabbath. You can check in Mark chapter 2, verses 27 and 28. Now, on the Sabbath day, back in those days, the Israelites, when they really kept the Sabbath the way they were supposed to, okay, they did a lot of praying, and they made it customary to keep the Sabbath and to be together as family and as neighbors and as groups. So they kept holy the Sabbath. They didn't devise things for themselves to do, and that applies to us today as much as ever in keeping holy the Sabbath. Not to go out and mow the lawn or paint the house or go shopping or buy or sell. Our Father in heaven does not want us to do those things. Keep holy the Sabbath. Keep away from working. Keep away from personal entertainment and all that sort of thing. Think about our Creator and what he has done for us. And it'd be very good to read the scriptures and have Bible studies on that day. Here's number 5. And if you read Acts 17:2, you'll see it was Paul's custom to keep the Sabbath, and with all the people he was involved with in his ministry. So there it is. Number 5 commandment, honor your father and your mother. And that is a commandment with promise, brethren. Believe me, it is. So that your days on this earth will be long and fruitful. Honor your father and mother. Take care of them in their older years. Don't just walk away from them when they get older and forget about them. That happens quite a bit in this country. And I've been to nursing homes and others where I remember one time, and it was very sad, my brother and I, we went to a nursing home locally. And we talked to this elderly woman. She had 7 or 8 children, and she was all by herself there. And she said to us, she says, you know, I have 7, 8 children. She said, not one of them ever comes to see me. And I thought that was very sad, where people just negate the love that they should have for their mom and dad. Here's number 6. You shall not murder. Taking another person's life, brethren, out of vengeance, hate, or whatever the reason is absolute murder. And our Father in heaven will take vengeance for that person sooner or later, and he will. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. That is something, brethren, that I see in this nation. Adultery and fornication seems to be from what I sense anyway, not even just talking to people, but I just sense it in the air that it seems to be rather rampant. A man going after another man's wife, or vice versa, a wife going after some other man who's already married, and then fornication amongst single people in the colleges and that, it's rampant and it's terrible. So we're commanded not to be involved in that at all, because it's what happens to people. It has its problems that come people's way that commit these things. Number 8, you shall not steal. There's lots of ways to steal, brethren, a lot of ways to steal. It's happening on all levels of government, and it's happening throughout the whole system we live in. People are finding ways to steal, not just property, taking somebody's car or stealing that, or stealing a lawnmower, for all things. I don't know why somebody would do that, but anyway, and various things. But theft is a big problem in this country on all levels. So our Father in heaven forbids it. Don't steal. Don't even take the smallest of things from your employer. It doesn't belong to you. Number 9, and this is a big one, do not bear false witness against your neighbor. There's all kinds of ways of doing that, through gossip, backstabbing, spreading lies about other people, bearing false witness. Matthew 19:17 and 19 tells us, Romans 13:9-10. And that's something that's rather rampant. I've encountered it in my places of employment, where people will come in and say, oh, did you hear what this person's doing, or that person? And they'll degrade another employee or something of that nature. We're forbidden to do that. Don't get involved in it. Break off from any gossip. Just put a stop to it. Don't be involved in it. Number 10, we shall not covet. Now, that's a big one. Romans 7:7-14, that covers it. In other words, coveting is an inordinate desire to have something that doesn't belong to you. Oh, I just covet that car or that bike or something else, and it's a feeling of covetousness, a want, constant want. I want that thing. I want to have it. So, brethren, these commandments are given to us not as shackles or restrictions or burdens upon us. They're not. Our Father in heaven doesn't set them that way. He doesn't want us to look at it that way. He wants people to have a good time and enjoy this life. But he gives us a set of rules to live by so that we can have blessings and not cursings, so that we don't fall down and hurt ourselves or hurt somebody else by just violating the scriptures, the commandments of the Bible and the way we should be living. He doesn't want us to do that to hurt ourselves or others, as a matter of fact. The religion and morality of the Bible, brethren, are taught to us so that it may be well with us always, 24/7. Now, I have found in doing some comparisons between the Holy Commandments, the commandments of our Creator, and man's law, men's laws are totally inadequate in helping and preserving mankind. A lot of laws that are on the books today, starting even way back, are very damaging to people because it puts such restrictions on them, and they get hateful towards various things. And man's laws are just inadequate, because a lot of times, in fact, most of the time, I feel they're not in line with the laws of our Creator. They're not in line with His laws about helping people and being good to people. A lot of them are just political and to gain more money and fame and so on, and the laws that men put forth on this earth. But the divine laws, brethren, the 10 Commandments, they meet every need of mankind, every need, and they always will be. So if you want blessings, brother, which I think all of you do want blessings, not cursings, I'm going to read to you Deuteronomy chapter 30. And this particular verse, brethren, applies to all of us forever. It will never go away. And it's a wonderful statement because it tells the whole thing together in a nutshell, so to speak. And the thing that I want to emphasize here is that teach the commandments to your children. Have family nights and evenings together. Bring together your family, everything. And I'm going to tell you something else here. You see this thing here? Put it away, bury it. Don't allow little children and kids to have these things distracting them. And the constant distraction of going into the cell phone, put it away and have family night. Have Bible studies together. Moms and dads, talk to your children about it. And go into the scriptures and tell them how important it is to keep the commandments and teach them. And put away the cell phones. Because they're not doing, many people, so many people, millions of people in this country are glued to that device. I see it all the time, even when they're driving. So, in closing, brethren, I want to read a verse out of Deuteronomy 30. I think it's so important, and it applies to all of us for all time. I'm going to read it right here. Deuteronomy 30, verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and your seed may live. Is that ever important? You want life and blessings, brethren? Keep the commandments, teach it to your children, and do your very best to get away from all these distractions we have in our society. And bury the cell phones, because that's such a terrible distraction today. Thank you.